It's late in the evening. You're finally alone. The room is quiet. No messages coming in. No one asking anything of you. And still, there's that tight feeling. A sense of pressure that doesn't lift just because everyone else is gone. Nothing is happening. But something feels heavy. You might even wonder why it feels like this when you're by yourself. Why rest doesn't feel like rest. Why your body stays alert when there's nothing to respond to. This experience often has a simple name: feeling pressure even when alone. In this video, we'll slow down and look at why that pressure can stick around, even in quiet moments, and what it's really responding to. At its core, this kind of pressure is when your mind stays in ready mode, even after the outside demands are gone. You're not reacting to what's happening now, but to what might be expected next. One common reason is living in a rhythm where your value has quietly been tied to being useful. When your days are shaped around responding, producing, or staying available, your system gets used to staying slightly tense. It learns that being off means being behind. Even when no one is watching, that background pressure stays on, like a light you forgot to turn off. You might notice it when you sit down to relax but keep checking the time, or when you feel a vague guilt for not doing something, even though nothing is urgent. For a lot of people, it starts when rest has to be earned instead of allowed. Sometimes, it comes from carrying unfinished expectations that don't belong to anyone specific anymore. They're not active tasks. No one assigned them. But they live in the background, the idea that you should be further along, more settled, clearer by now. When you're alone, there's no distraction from those quiet comparisons. So the pressure shows up as a feeling, not a thought. A sense that you're behind without knowing what race you're in. You might feel it when you try to enjoy a free evening, but your chest stays tight, like there's something you're forgetting, even after you check your calendar and see nothing there. Another way this shows up is through a habit of monitoring yourself. If you've spent a long time adjusting to other people's moods, standards, or reactions, your mind can keep doing that even when no one else is present. You become both the watcher and the watched. So even alone, there's a sense of being evaluated. Am I using my time well? Am I wasting this evening? Am I doing enough? It's not loud pressure. It's subtle. But it's constant. And it can make solitude feel strangely uncomfortable. Imagine this. It's around 10:30 at night. You're sitting on your bed, phone face down, lights low. The day is over. Nothing else is scheduled. You try to relax. Maybe you scroll for a bit. Maybe you just sit there. But your body doesn't fully settle. There's a slight restlessness in your shoulders. Your thoughts drift to things you could have done differently today. Or things you'll need to handle tomorrow. No one is asking you for anything. But you still feel like you're on call. If you've been there, you're not strange. You might know someone who lives like this. This is what quiet pressure can look like when it has nowhere obvious to go. It doesn't come from danger. It comes from patterns. And once you see that, the feeling starts to make more sense. One small thing that can help in moments like this is changing what you listen for. When you're alone and the pressure shows up, your mind often scans for what's missing or what's unfinished. Instead, you might gently ask yourself, what is actually required of me right now? Not in a big life sense. Just in this room. At this hour. Maybe the answer is very small. Maybe it's nothing at all. Naming that doesn't make the pressure disappear. But it can soften it. It gives your system a clear signal that there is no immediate demand. Another gentle practice is letting yourself mark the end of doing. Some people find it helpful to close the day in a simple way. Not a routine meant to improve anything. Just a quiet signal that says, today is complete. It could be turning off the main light. Changing into comfortable clothes. Writing down one sentence about what you handled today, even if it felt ordinary. This works because pressure often stays when there's no clear boundary between effort and rest. Creating a small ending can help your mind stand down, little by little. And there's something else that matters here. Feeling pressure when you're alone doesn't mean you're doing life wrong. It often means you've been responsible for a long time. It can be the residue of caring, of staying alert, of trying to do things well. So if quiet moments feel tense instead of peaceful, that tension deserves understanding, not judgment. You're not failing at rest. Your system might just be used to staying ready. And that can change slowly, without forcing anything. This reflection is for people who look calm on the outside, but feel that invisible weight when things finally slow down. Pressure doesn't always come from what's happening. Sometimes it comes from what your mind learned to expect. And noticing that is often the first moment the pressure loosens, just a little. If this felt familiar, you're welcome to stay here for more quiet explanations like this.